Hey, you know what? Fuck it. We'll watch this. Fuck it. We'll watch it and we'll call it a stream. All right. We'll watch it and we'll call it a stream. And I'll probably separate this segment out as like a separate video. Fuck it. Let's watch this. It's only 21 minutes. Let's go.
Is sponsored by Manscaped.
Omniman versus Bardock.
The ostracized Viltrumite and the doomed Saiyan.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Omniman.
So right off the bat, okay, I don't know much about Omniman, so I would just be going for Bardock simply based on the fact that I'm a Dragon Ball fan. But I don't know enough about Omniman to really make a decision before we get into this. So I'll just see what they have to say, because I'm not going to give a prediction on this until I know more about Omni-Man.
Earth's once greatest hero. Alongside the Guardians of the Globe, he protected the world from all manner of threats. And then, in a single day, it all went horribly wrong.
Why Omni-Man? How Omni-Man? Who Omni-Man?
Who indeed? Champion of Earth, best-selling author J.K. Simmons, yet it was all a charade, with his murderous rampage only brought to a halt thanks to his own son.
It all starts with his home planet, Viltrum, which I hear is a totally lovely utopia.
Through brutal mortal combat.
With a K! Or, wait, no, that came later.
Viltrumites are among the most powerful beings in the universe, even more so after they purge the weaker members of their species. As a vanguard of the Viltrumite Empire, Omni-Man...
Yo, that sounds like some straight-up eugenics going on. Ew.
Infiltrated Earth as Nolan Grayson, expected to prepare the planet for Imperial assimilation.
Which should have been easy, since he's got your classic strongman superpowers and he's basically invulnerable, easily knocking around asteroids the size of Texas.
He can fly at unbelievable speeds, soaring from Earth to the planet Thraxa in under 1 week. Thraxa is, quote, a couple galaxies away, give or...
Okay, hold up. That's pretty damn impressive. If he's knocking around easily, by the way, if he's easily knocking around asteroids the size of fucking Texas, I don't know if Bardock can do that. If he's flying within a week from a planet a couple of galaxies away to Earth, I know Bardock can't do that. Number one, Bardock can't breathe in space. But let's just say if Bardock could, Bardock is not fast enough to fly from a planet 2 galaxies away to another planet in a week? No, absolutely not. Goku can because of instant transmission. Bardock ain't got shit like that. Bardock's not that fast. That would make Bardock faster than the speed of light. And I'm pretty sure characters in Dragon Ball don't become faster than the speed of... Well, you know what? Shit, hold up. Wait a minute. What am I saying? Hold up now. I'm just thinking in terms of... Let's see. What was Bardock's power? Bardock had a 10,000 power level. Goku and Piccolo, I think, were at the speed of light during the Raditz fight. And they were at like 500 or something in terms of... You know what? So maybe Bardock is faster than the speed of light. But at the same time... Fuck it. I'm going to have to look this up real quick. Hold up. How fast can light travel across the galaxy? Okay, it says it would take... Holy shit. According to Google, it would take around 100,000 years to cross the entire galaxy because of its vast size. So if we're talking 2 galaxies, let's say they're both the size of the Milky Way, it would take 200,000 years for Bardock to travel across, or for the speed of light to travel across 2 galaxies. So even if Bardock was somewhat faster than the speed of light, and I'm not even going to say he's massively faster than the speed of light at that point, considering he only has a power level of 10,000, But even if he was, he still ain't doing this shit in a week. Travel speed, we're not talking about instant transmission. We're not talking about techniques. We're not talking about magic. We're talking about in terms of travel speed. Hell no. Hell no.
Take, so a minimum of 2 galaxies. Beyond the Milky Way's neighbor Andromeda is the lesser-known Triangulum galaxy, which is over 2.7 million light-years away. Reaching it in under 1 week means Omniman must have flown over 142 million times faster than light.
Oh, and Viltrumites can't breathe in space, so he held his breath.
He held his breath for a week? Holy shit. Yo, Bardock's getting wrecked. I'm sorry. But listen, I know for a damn fact. Why is my mouse fucking up? Hello? I know for a damn fact that Bardock ain't doing this shit. Bardock is not that much faster than the speed of light. And he is not holding his fucking breath for a week.
The whole way, and it's not like he was in a rush. He was on a soul-searching trip, contemplating the significance of smashing his own son's face in. Think, Nolan, think.
Yeah, this is why I'm never having kids.
You're missing out. But according to another Viltrumite, Thetis, a bunch of other Viltrumites who actually were in a hurry flew to Viltrum across the Virgo supercluster in less than 24 hours.
That's
over 20
billion times faster than light.
You don't really need to rush
Bardock
anyways.
is
The older a
hard.
Viltrumite gets, the slower they age.
According to the Invincible Handbook, Nolan is over 2,000 years old. And regardless of age, Viltrumites don't suffer muscle fatigue like humans do, so they rarely ever tire out.
Seriously? He's got parenting easy mode on, and he couldn't even handle that. I would have killed for that back when my daughter was born.
Well, you would have to be a Viltrumite first. A Viltrumite's body contains smart atoms, which they subconsciously manipulate. This cellular structure can effectively recall certain states of being regardless of their present environment, reacting to changes at an atomic level to perform the impossible.
Yeah, like surviving your intestines getting ripped out, or even more scary, ripping out your whole beard all at once.
Ew.
Only a Viltrumite could pull off something that
We have
disturbing.
razors.
Nolan
dude,
is incredibly
damn.
tough, but if he faces superior forces, his smart atoms can adjust to make him even stronger by comparison. This is why Viltrumites are considered invincible.
Most weapons in the universe can't even scratch a Viltrumite like him.
Even a ship's cannon like this one can't take down a Viltrumite, and it obliterated a massive solar disk nearly half the size of a star.
Speaking of planets, he's strong enough to shatter one by flying straight through it. A planet so big it has a whole ring around it.
The Roche limit factor dictates the size a celestial body must be in order to disperse orbiting material as a ring. In short, an Earth-sized planet can't support such a ring, meaning this one must be much larger.
And don't get me started on how the ring is actually made up of dead bodies because, spoilers? Just go read the comic.
If Roche
What
isn't doing
the
it for you, this planet also supports 5 moons in its orbit, and even the smallest is a perfect sphere, meaning its own gravity shaped it. At minimum, a moon like that must have a diameter of 600 kilometers, or 370 miles. Comparing this to the planet's diameter, we can tell this world is nearly 14 times larger than Earth.
Or it was before, kablam.
Now, Omniman does have his weaknesses. Monsters like Ragnar's can pierce Viltrumite flesh, and he's extremely sensitive to a specific high-pitch frequency, which can destabilize his body's equilibrium.
But his real weakness turned out to be, you guessed it, fatherhood. Thanks to his son Mark, Nolan began to re-examine his perspective and his place in the universe. He settled down in a new place, got himself a new job, and even had a new kid with his new wife, who's a bug. The bug lady, he banged a bug.
Why, Omniman? How, Omniman?
Hey, everyone deals with parenting stress in their own way. When Nolan was lecturing to Mark about how insignificant people are, Mark wasn't the only one he was trying to convince, if you catch my drift.
Nolan Grayson's real mission isn't planetary conquest or saving the innocent. It's to discover if a violent man who can break the world can also be a good father.
Godspeed, Omni-Man.
Yo, this
In the
dude's
far
insane.
reaches of the cosmos laid a world with a people like no other, born and raised to do just one thing.
I'm interested in what they say about Bardock, because I'm going to be real with you. I think Bardock gets his ass fucking whooped. I think he gets murked, man. I think he gets destroyed.
Fight.
The Saiyans, a proud warrior people from the planet Vegeta, ruled by, King Vegeta. Well, narcissist much.
Exactly. Their pride blinded them to the truth of their impending doom. But perhaps one Saiyan represented the best of them, even during their waning glory days.
Bardock! He's cool, he's crude, he's got a bad attitude, and if he goes apeshit, you're totally screwed. And guess what? He's father of Goku.
Oh wow, I never would have guessed.
Right? What a curveball.
So what does that make Turles?
Who?
Bardock was a cold-blooded killer, ruthlessly conquering planets in service to the Saiyans' true overseer, Lord Frieza.
They didn't just conquer planets, they wiped out every living thing, leaving Frieza uninhabited rocks to sell away. Bardock was an asshole. Well, until he wasn't.
Bardock's story has evolved over the years, with multiple iterations to draw from.
Including one where he's a brilliant scientist.
see, that's the thing. Like, are they going for like Super Bardock, or are they going for like OG 90s Bardock? I mean, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference in terms of power, because I think they're pretty much the same as far as I can tell. But still, I don't know.
But only one is considered officially canon. Bardock's
All right, so they're going with Super Bardock. All right.
demeanor began to shift when he met and eventually married fellow warrior Guinea, and had two sons, Raditz and Kakarot.
No, Bardock didn't go totally soft. He was still a ruthless warrior. You know that iconic red headband of his? It's stained with the blood of his fallen friends. Hardcore.
Bardock could fly, move faster than light, and was naturally adept in using his ki as an explosive weapon.
AKA shooting lasers from his hands. True to his brutal screw-you nature, Bardock's moves are all about overwhelming power. His final spirit cannon is...
Wait. They're including Super Saiyan. That means, are they going with the animated special where he fought like the time travel shit, where he was sent back in time and he fought like Frieza's ancestor, what was his name? Lord Chilled, and he became like a Super Saiyan? That's definitely not canon. But okay, so are they doing an amalgamation of Bardock? Like they're combining all the Bardocks into one character? Ooh, I guess, but that seems a little bit shaky as a premise. Let's continue.
It's like a ki-powered bazooka. His rebellion hammer punch ignites enemies on contact, and his rebellion spear basically turns him into a supercharged battering ram. The guy has no chill. He will run you over, break your spine, light you on fire, and then move on to the next guy. All in a day's work for a Saiyan.
Marriage didn't change that. While Bardock cared for Guinea, in fact being one of few Saiyans of his time to actually have a romantic partner, he was still no family man. Like most Saiyans, he saw his sons as nothing more than future soldiers.
Bardock was a low-class warrior, so it was unlikely his kids would grow up to be anything more than battlefield fodder.
But they would still possess the Saiyans' power, a transformation that was the key to their planetary devastation.
Big Monkey!
Under the light of a full moon, a Saiyan with a tail manifests.
Yo, what's this music, man?
This great ape form increases Bardock's power tenfold, turning him into an unstoppable kaiju. Quick, someone call Yajirobe!
While some Saiyans can maintain control over this berserker form, low-class warriors like Bardock don't receive the same level of training as those of higher birth. Prince Vegeta's control is so precise he can speak while changed, but Bardock cannot.
Hell, it's questionable if he even remembers everything that happens when he goes full-tilt gorilla. The Saiyan strategy is pretty much just monkey see, monkey smash.
Despite being low-class, Bardock's power level nearly matched that of King Vegeta, who could destroy multiple planets at once. At about this time, King Vegeta's power level was around 10,000.
Yeah, we know power levels are kinda janky. Nobody can agree on what the number really means.
Outside of his fight with Gat,
Well, to be fair, power levels are janky once you get past the battle with Trunks and Frieza at the start of the Android saga. Like after that, power levels really do become irrelevant. But up until then, they are a decent indicator. If you know how to read them, they're a decent indicator. But yeah, no, after the whole Frieza thing, they do kind of become irrelevant.
Bardock doesn't really show any high-end feats in canon, but we can use power levels to compare him to other characters with similar levels to better understand his potential.
Like when his son fought Prince Vegeta. What's the scouter say about his power level? It's over 8,000. Yeah, the dub changed it to fit Vegeta's lip flaps, but we only cover the cold hard truth, damn it.
According to this movie pamphlet, Goku's power level between his fight with Vegeta and his trip to Namek was 10,000. This lines up with that previous reading and puts him on par with Bardock. Goku's training during the trip eventually raised him to 90,000 upon arrival, but this gives us a clear window.
Yeah, early in the trip, he had to dodge a bunch of incoming asteroids and blast his ship away from a star, which...
Well, I'm pretty sure in the original Bardock movie, not talking about Super, but in the original Bardock movie, it was stated his power level was 10,000. I think his power level was 10,000, and I think King Vegeta's, I think I heard somewhere it was 12,000, but I could be wrong about that.
Which is impressive considering the speed involved.
The planet Namek is outside Earth's quadrant of the universe, and it took his ship 6 days to make the journey. Traveling a quarter of the universe's diameter would put the ship over 9.5 trillion times the speed.
That is the speed of the ship. That's not Goku. Hold up. Wait a minute. See this right here. This shit right here pisses me off because that's how fast the ship is. That's not how fast Goku is. That's not Goku's travel speed. That's the travel speed of the spaceship. When I'm driving in my car moves faster than I ever could. That's the speed of the car, not the speed of me.
Speed of light.
And Goku would have had to keep up with that kind of speed to do all that other stuff.
Makes sense.
What are you talking about? No, he wouldn't. What are you... That's fucking crazy.
Even far weaker characters could reach the moon in a fraction of a second. Should be trivial enough for Bardock.
All this speed and power meant when Bardock and his team assaulted the planet Cereal, they went, cheerio!
Bardock ravaged the planet, annihilating its people, until he found 2 survivors, a mother and her child. Some may call it weakness, others a moment of clarity, but Bardock was suddenly reminded of his wife and recently born son. He chose to spare the 2, and even pushed himself far past his limits to protect them from his own Frieza Force allies, who taunted that Frieza had dire plans for the Saiyans' future.
This moment changed Bardock, making him more appreciative of his family and cautious of Frieza. When all the Saiyans were called back to Planet Vegeta for mysterious reasons, he had a hunch something was up. So, before his final stand, smashing through hundreds of soldiers before coming face to face with the tyrant, he sent his youngest kid away for protection. A choice that allowed his son to thrive. And hey, that's what good parents do.
A choice that would have a greater significance than Bardock could ever imagine.
And then Dildo Dickhead blew them all up and he died.
Dildo Dickhead. Nice.
Or did he? Bardock got killed so freaking hard he got blasted back in time.
Actually, he was pulled away by these 2 who miscalculated and misplaced him incorrectly in the time stream.
Blah, 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 non-canon, whatever. He survived. And when he realized what happened...
This whole special is... Oh my god, I can't believe they're really bringing in this fucking special, dog.
He got so unbelievably pissed off, he went Super Saiyan. What?
Alright, this is very much an alternate universe what-if scenario, and it
Yes.
is jarring. But think about it. The Super Saiyan form is not achieved through training alone. It requires dedication, introspection, victory, failure, love, and loss. Frieza destroyed the Saiyans because he feared the possibility of the Super Saiyan, a Saiyan with power that could rival his own. But perhaps Bardock's transformation was more than simply a what-if. He had begun to take the very steps his son later would to achieve the form. Perhaps if Frieza had hesitated, even for a moment, his fear would have manifested before him right then and there.
Damn, pour one out for Bardock, who figured out how to be the truest.
The thing is, though, even if Bardock had become a Super Saiyan when he fought Frieza, it wouldn't have mattered. Because the Super Saiyan multiplier is a 50 times multiplier. So let's say that he's, he's at a power level of 10,000. Okay, so a 10 times multiplier would be 100,000, right? That's what the Uzaru is. So Uzaru Bardock would be at 100,000 as far as his power level goes. You times that by 50, you're talking about 500,000. Now, you have to remember the first form Frieza has a power level of 520,000, which means if Bardock had gone Super Saiyan in his fight with Frieza, he still wouldn't have been able to defeat first form Frieza. He would have probably been able to fight on par with first form Frieza because he would have been close to his power level. Just a 20,000 difference. But it still would have been very difficult for him to defeat first form Frieza, and probably Frieza would have just transformed. And once he goes second form, it's over. Because Frieza's second form is like twice as strong as his first form. It would have been done.
Saying right at the end of it all, I know Kakarot would be proud. Hey, shout out to everyone who believed in us during our recent crowdfunding.
And joining you in that support is the...
All right, well, let's skip this. I'm not... Manscaped, yo. All right, let's get to this. Let's get to the fight.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
So just from what again, like the speed analysis for Bardock is fucking stupid. Bardock is not that fucking fast. Goku at the time of the Namek saga is not that fucking fast, like they were trying to say. That's the speed of the ship, dog. It's not the speed of Goku. It's definitely not the speed of Bardock. Are you crazy? No. But again, like what I've seen, I think Omni-Man takes it, but they're giving Bardock some crazy feats. In all honesty, though, I don't see a scenario where Bardock wins. Anyways, let's watch this fucking thing. Let's do this.
Great. Another gross bug planet.
This planet isn't anyone's to conquer.
Don't underestimate me!
Just like my son, sticking his nose in places he's not ready for.
My sons would kick his ass!
Oh, damn! He used his own spaceship, but he caught it, though. He used his own spaceship against him, but he caught it, though.
Whatever you are, you're an embarrassment.
Oh, monkey time.
Wait till you see.
King Kong time, baby. Let's go.
Of a Saiyan.
Am I supposed to be impressed?
Dude, I feel like Omni-Man's holding back. I feel like he's holding back. Oh my god!
Shit.
That's fucking wild. He slapped him with his tail, his own tail, so hard he knocked him out into space. Oh yeah, he can't breathe.
No. My sons.
Okay, like he should be dead. He shouldn't be able to talk.
I won't let you take me from my war.
How is he fighting in space? And this isn't like a Battle of Gods thing where they're just in the upper atmosphere. This is straight up space. That doesn't make sense. Bardock? What?
Your time is up!
Dude, how is he talking in space? Didn't they just say earlier he was only able to survive in space because he held his breath? What is this shit?
Saiyan. Remember it.
Into the fucking sun.
Fuck.
KO! Okay, these Gokus have got to stop picking fights.
All right, hold up. This is the right outcome based on what I've seen, based on their stats. Yes, this is the right outcome. Omni-Man should have won. At the same time, this shit doesn't make sense. Because number one, Bardock can't breathe in space. And they said the only reason Omni-Man was able to breathe in space is because he held his breath. He is talking in space. He's talking in space during this fight. How is he not dead? How are they not both dead? They justified the very logic that they set up at before they did the fight. That makes no. This is what? This doesn't make sense. They shouldn't be able to talk when you guys. I don't know whether you know this, but when you talk with your mouth in space, you are trying to take in air. Air is going from your lungs out into the atmosphere and vice versa when you talk. I have air going into my body right now and coming out of my body as I'm speaking. If you did that in space where there is no air, you die. This defies the very logic they set up at the start of the video. Now, if Omni-Man had held his breath, if Omni-Man had held his breath in space and didn't talk during that part of the fight, okay. But Bardock should have instantly died. Failure says, yeah, on the show, they only talk using telepathy. Let's see if they can explain it, because this shit don't make sense.
It's with guys in capes.
Pitting Saiyan against Viltrumite is fascinating. Among the many similarities, 5 specific categories stand out.
Starting with speed. Bardock is much faster, given his power level matched Goku dodging asteroids at 9.5 trillion times light speed, much higher than the Viltrumite's fastest speed. Add on the 50 times multiplier from Super Saiyan, and it's a huge...
I'm sorry, but that speed calculation is wrong for... That's the speed of the ship. He was not moving that quickly, guys. He had magnetized boots. He was stuck to the ship when he was dodging those meteorites. Fuck. And number 2, that's fucking filler. It's not even in the fucking manga. Yo, Goku's not that fast in the Namek Saga.
difference.
Right, Bardock clearly has the speed advantage, but strength and durability are another story.
Though it doesn't seem like it at first, Bardock scales to King Veggie, who wrecked 3 planets at once, and Omni-Man only smashed 1. But given how big that one planet was, the numbers are actually pretty similar, until we factor in the Super Saiyan boost, right?
Well, there's a catch. A major plot point in Invincible involves the coalition of planets admitting that their weapons cannot hurt Viltrumites.
So, when their ship's cannon obliterated this gigantic solar disk, it highlighted just how tough the Viltrumites really are.
This disk completely blocked the sunlight and heat between a planet and its star, and this is no ordinary planet. Its size and density are so high that its inhabitants are as strong as Viltrumites just due to living in its natural gravity. To fully block the light to such a planet and remain in consistent orbit, the disk would need to be positioned at its L1 point, the spot that creates an uninterrupted view between sun and satellite, and the disk itself must be about half the diameter of the star in question. This means the scaling of the disc puts it at 3 septillion tons.
That's 24 zeros.
Which makes Omni-Man over 11,000 times stronger than base Bardock.
Not even the Great Ape or Super Saiyan forms could make up that difference. So strength goes to Nolan.
Still, numbers aren't everything. As far as versatility in combat goes, neither had one distinct advantage that could win outright.
Omni-Man survives in space for much longer, but Bardock barely squeaks out the edge here thanks to his ranged versatility with key.
Whoa, wait a minute, hold up. So they're using the thing where Bardock fought Frieza above planet Vegeta. The overwhelming consensus from the fandom on that point is that Bardock was not in space proper. He was in the very high upper atmosphere. I forget what the exact name of that level of the planet is, but he's still in a place with breathable air. It's very thin. It looks like you're in space. Earth has this thing going on in real life. There's a level of the atmosphere where you get up to where it looks like you're in space, but you're still technically in an area with breathable air. It's just very thin. Now, we humans, if we got up to that point, even though there is technically breathable air, it's so thin that we couldn't survive anyways. We die because there's not enough air. But you can imagine Saiyan physiology is somewhat different. They are a warrior race. They're stronger than we are. So you can imagine, even if they have a very thin layer of air, they can still survive. And that is the overwhelming consensus, that he's not in space proper. He's just in the very highest upper atmosphere of planet Vegeta. It's the same thing in Battle of Gods when you have Goku and Beerus fighting what looks like space. The overwhelming consensus is it's not actually space. It's the very highest upper atmosphere of planet Earth. So there's still breathable air. It's just very, very thin. So I think I think they should have done more research on this. And even again, like they're out next to a fucking star. Like they're in space proper in this fight. Like it doesn't make sense. And they're talking. What the fuck? They said before Omni-Man only survived because he held his breath.
Attacks and, of course, Super Saiyan.
Okay, let's address the Super Saiyan Bardock thing. It's perfectly fair to question whether or not the form should be in this comparison at all. However, even with the form included, Nolan still takes this, especially when it comes to our last two categories, experience and stamina.
Yep, Omni-Man's been around a lot longer than Bardock, over 2,000 years, and even with Super Saiyan, Bardock's no master of the form.
And without that mastery, the form drains the user's energies at an increased rate. Which brings us to what may be Omni-Man's most surprising advantage.
Those weird smart atoms.
Saiyans like Bardock can fight for days on end, but only for so long. Bardock possesses a limited pool of ki, which only depletes faster when using super forms like the Great Ape. In contrast, Omni-Man's biology prevents him from tiring in most cases.
Super Saiyan, when it's not mastered, does drain stamina at a faster rate. This is true. This is true. That is why in the Android saga, in the Cell saga, they were training to master the form so it wouldn't do that. But you're right. If Bardock achieving the initial stage of Super Saiyan would have a stamina drain from Super Saiyan. However, there's nothing stated in the series that Uzaru drains your stamina. That's never been stated. There's nothing stating that Uzaru drains your stamina. So I don't know where they're getting that from.
Letting him travel across whole galaxies for weeks non-stop. And his smart atoms adjust to counter whatever physical strain he's subjected to.
Bardock's crazy speed and power made him a real challenge.
But Nolan's strength, experience, and sheer endurance presented an unstoppable and unshakable force that would inevitably land the killing blow.
When push came to shove, Omni-Man raised the bar. Duck.
The winner is Omni-Man.
Next time on Death Battle.
Oh, Joker.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for
So Yeah, like I agree with the outcome. I think Omni-Man wins. But there's some wonky shit, bro. That speed feed for Goku, that's not true. Number one, it's filler. That's number one. Number two, Goku had magnetized boots that kept him attached to that spaceship. So he was not moving as fast as a spaceship. He was moving with the spaceship because he was magnetically attached to it. That is the speed of the spaceship, not Goku's speed. He is not 9 trillion times faster than the fucking speed of light in the fucking Namek saga. Dog, they only reach the speed of light. I'm pretty sure it was stated that they only reach the speed of light at the start, like at the start of Z when they're fighting Raditz. Now, obviously, they do surpass the speed of light many times over later on, but not by that much in the Namek saga. Are you crazy? Like, just not that long after Raditz. Like, no, dog. So the speed feed for Bardock, that's insane. That's nuts. Number two, again, if Omni-Man only survived in space because he held his breath, he was talking in the fight. How did he survive in space? You have to breathe to talk. That makes no sense. And Bardock shouldn't be able to breathe in space at all, or shouldn't be able to survive in space at all. Even if he did hold his breath, there's nothing suggesting that would save him from dying in space. Like, he doesn't have that type of anatomy that Omni-Man does. They both should have died, to be honest with you. Like, Omni-Man should have held his breath and taken Bardock out into space as the finishing blow. That would have made a lot more sense. I don't know, man. Like, that, there's some wonky stuff here, but I mean, overall, yeah, Omni-Man won, and I think that was the right decision. But that fight was wonky. That fight had some wonky shit in it. Anyways, interesting. Yeah, like I've not watched the Death Battle video in a good bit. That was fun though. That was really fun. I enjoyed it. Even though it was wonky, I enjoyed it, wonkiness and all.